Hey, what's going on everyone? It's bricoleurbricks here. Today I have a custom droid battle pack with 2 Staps, 2 Droidekas, a Hailfire droid, and an AAT made from 2 501st Battlepacks. Now when it comes to the droid army, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship. I love the vehicles, but I hate the droids. They just don't have the same personalities that you can get attached to like the clones. But I've seen some people suggesting that I make something droid related, and since the 501st Battlepack and the Separatist/CIS army both use the blue and gray colors, I figured why not. So first up we have the Staps. Now in my opinion these are just a fun little build. They sort of remind me of a mix between the more recent Clone Wars version with the blue flag pieces on the bottom and the curved front, and the oldest version we got way back in 1999 in the Naboo Swamp set with the gray bar pieces used as cannons and the more blocky looking top area. The build itself is pretty simple. There's just a little platform for the droid to stand on and a bar that he hangs onto. He can have one hand grabbing on and the other hand holding his weapon. And if you want to have both hands grabbing on, all you have to do is swap out the straight arm for one of the extra bent arm pieces that came in the 501st Battlepack set. Other than that, you can certainly take the stand off if you want to swoosh it around. When it is on the stand, it is a little bit front heavy, so it will tip over if it gets bumped, but standing on its own, it should be fine. And that's about it for those 2 Staps. Let's move on. Who doesn't love a nice Droidica? Well, I know I sure don't when I'm playing Star Wars Battlefront and I run around a corner and there's one waiting for me. But nonetheless, I think their design is really cool, and I'd never seen one done in blue and gray before, so I tried my hand at making one, and I wound up with 2. For the legs, I used those little ski parts, which I think work well. They're nice and sturdy, and there's a lot of them, so I had enough. The body does swivel on the base where it's connected to the legs. It can go pretty far in either direction. The arms themselves can go up and down, but they're on there really tight, so you have to brace from the other side if you're going to move them. Otherwise, it could break this whole front section off. As for the head, there is a little bit of movement up and down, and you'll notice there's kind of one big eye instead of 2 small eyes. Personally, I like the look of it, but you can feel free to modify yours if you so desire. Finally, I've never actually owned a Lego Droidica. Let me know in the comments if the official Lego Droidicas can actually fold up and roll. Mine sort of does. You can kind of, I wouldn't say fold it, more like crumple it up into a ball, and it kind of rolls, but you know, not really, but it's kind of a little fun thing to do, I guess. You can also unfold these ski parts and stand it on them like it's got 2 legs to walk on, which I thought looked kind of funny. But yeah, those are our 2 Droidicas. And speaking of rolling, what could be next? That's right, a Hailfire droid. Well, a mini Hailfire droid maybe. Out of all the builds I did for this set, this one is probably my least favorite. I feel like it's just missing something. But I had extra parts, including all these hinge bricks, which was the main inspiration for trying to build the Hailfire droid. My version has a small blaster cannon at the very front. Right underneath the head section, we got 2 little droid eyes and a droid brain, I guess, up there. Then on either side of the body we have both missile racks. I really like these little bulb pieces to use as missiles. That's what I used on my gunship build. Unfortunately, the sets only allowed me to use 3 of them on either side. I would rather have 4, but oh well. Now let's talk about the wheels. You'll see the wheels are definitely not a circle, definitely not a equilateral pentagon either. Just because of how these hinge bricks are, I was only able to go around part of the way with all of them. On the bottom is this flat area where it sits on the ground, and in the back it's not even connected because I did not have enough of these connector plates. But they're connected in the front and it's not holding any weight, it's just there for aesthetic purposes to look somewhat like a wheel. I feel like depending on what angle you're looking at, it does give those Hailfire droid vibes, but it is smaller than the actual thing, and of course the wheels. So yeah, let's move on to the biggest and final build, the AAT. So I am pretty pleased with the way this AAT turned out, except for a few little things here and there, but mostly I'm really proud of how the front turned out, getting that nice smooth and curved look without a lot of pieces to work with. I mean, looking at it you can definitely tell that I'm going for the AAT look. If you really want to nitpick, the angled part where it goes up to the turret is not quite steep enough, but I feel like having that round gray dish there helps to take away from that, as that's a pretty recognizable area of the AAT. Of course, on either side we have these secondary blasters. I just used the empty stud shooters because I didn't have much else to work with. I think they look decent. They can go up and down, more up than down. As for the turret, it is a bit more rectangular as opposed to the actual AAT, which is more rounded. That's one of the areas I could change if I had more parts to work with. And of course the main gun goes way up and way down. There is a hatch that can close over the driver if you lower his head inside. That's the nice thing about working with droids, is that you don't need a lot of room to fit them in places. The gunner is just attached to the rear part of the turret. If you want to take him out, all you have to do is remove the little hatch assembly, take off this plate, and there he is. Same for putting him in. Just use the stud on his back, connect it to the plate, and pop it back on. As for the pilot, he's connected to this back piece here that comes off. All you have to do to take him out is grab by these two little tabs, pull it off, and there he is. And his back stud is just connected to this plate here. Make sure his arms and his legs are straight out in front of him, not angled. The legs have to go in this little gap here beneath those plates, and the arms have to go above it. And he's got a control panel in there which he can use to drive the tank. But yeah, this little pilot assembly just fits right back in. All you have to do is line up the studs with the plate on the top. There's also some storage for blasters on the outside. If you want to take off the turret, it's also really simple. Just remove the pilot, take off this little bushing piece with your fingernail, and the turret should lift right up. I think this AAT is pretty sturdy. I would put it at the same sturdiness level of the TX-130 fighter tank I made. Certainly more sturdy than some of the other things I built. I should mention that these little blue plates with jumper studs are not meant to attach to this little gray bracket on the side here. My instructions tester thought that was how they were supposed to go, but it's just there to cover it up, sort of. Don't worry about connecting those. It's not going to work, so don't try it. And when you're picking it up, you want to pick it up with your thumb on one side and your finger on the other. You can put them in these little gray pieces. They have nice little indentations where your fingers can go while you're grabbing it. So yeah, that's the custom droid battle pack I made from two 501st Battlepacks. I will have the instruction link in the description. I was thinking if you have 4 501st Battlepacks and you wanted to make like a little battle scene, you could take 2 and build my Republic fighter tank, and you could take the other 2 and build this droid battle pack, and you'd have a little droid versus clone vehicle battle. Alright guys, that about does it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the build. Please leave a like, leave a comment, drop a sub, and I will see you next time. Thanks.